Good morning, good evening, and welcome all the cricket lovers. How is the things in the sun?
Things are good, especially after the Asia Cup defeat. We had some very quiet moment, but now things are getting back.
We are having trolls and all those things over the social media, and we are seeing game is building up. And
Of
some
course.
changes we can see our selection committee is also going to be changed. It looks like, and it's the nominations are calling and the things, and our coaches change 1 month back. 2 coaches. So there are certain things we see, and there are things behind. We see cricket all about to the world. Sri Lankans, we know cricket. We love cricket.
Of course, we breathe, we eat, we talk.
We
do
induce in
everything.
that.
Yeah, we do everything with cricket.
Exactly. So as Sri Lankans, we are having some heart for that.
Of course.
Win or defeat, we are going back and watching it.
I mean, there might be some calls to boycott the cricket, but it never happens. People go and people watch matches.
One win, all will come to the TV again.
Yeah, of course. This cycle, we are back. No, we are not. We are getting back. Oh, we are so back. That cycle never ends. It goes.
So that beauty we want to talk with you, right? So Sri Lankan cricket is a never-ending story.
It's a never-ending love story between fans and cricket and Facebook and trolls.
Right. So, but there was a time, Facebook and social media, which has come maybe last 15 years maximum. Before that, there was a time game was going so well for this nation.
Of course.
And there was certain things, this world identified cricket from this nation.
Absolutely, because it's a tiny nation, but we have given a lot of stuff to the cricket.
Lot of players, lot of techniques, lot of things which are in cricket done from Sri Lankans and further continuing from that.
Of course.
And there is a future for that also.
I hope so, because we technically made Dusra a professional one, and Dilshan came up with a short Dil scoop, and then Lasit Malinga became a Yorker king. And I remember how wide Yorkers have become a thing just after the 2014 T20 World Cup final.
You remember the last 4 overs?
Of course, ball by ball, everyone.
Right, guys. Now we want to talk about some unique thing which Sri Lankan cricket, world cricket, and all those things never talked about in public media very much of a good way. And there are some hidden things we want to take it out because we felt it like it is something we need to continue in a good way. And as Sri Lankans, we have to just add it to the world and say historically how these have come. So
There are certain parts, as you correctly mentioned, there are certain parts which less talked about, and we hardly see even people write about those things. You see, like countries like Australia and England, even to an extent in India these days, they write a lot about cricket. Not the technicalities, not the runs, not the stats, but something beyond that. Especially like I recently found there are management books written from cricket lesson, but we will find means and ways and take things out which is like not normally looked into a cricket as a game, but we can study from there. We'll just have a chat.
there are things that Sri Lankans learned in harder ways, but now today in the books scientifically saying these are rules of the game.
Oh yeah, speak about it.
We want to talk these things. We want to talk these things in the sense.
Absolutely, because this is how I think we should celebrate the game, because this is another way of celebrating the game.
Right, so beyond the boundary, we are just here to have a chat. Maybe we too, maybe some your more known cricket personalities will be coming to you in the next episodes. to tell their own stories.
Absolutely. And we promise you something. We will not ask about like the very cliche questions, even if we meet them. Right? So we will ask some questions which we can bring the best out of them, or something like which they did. I think that will be a good way to bring things.
Right. So it's all about today we are going to start with a flick, maybe a uppercut, anything go beyond the boundary.
Yeah,
On
so
top.
we started. I mean, the topic we wanted to, since this channel is beyond the boundaries, we want to talk about something which goes beyond the boundary. That is, when you hit the ball harder, it goes beyond boundaries. Anything which clicks in you?
You know a guy called Master Blaster?
Came from a small town from Matra, Sri Lanka, and he went to become a world beater. We are not going to speak about Sanat Jayasuriya and his biography, which he has already written a book about it. So why should we speak about it? But we are going to take some element out of that and speak about it. What made him really a bigger person?
You know what? Still, India is trying to find a Sanat Jayasuriya. It's a joke. It's a joke for me, but it's a serious thing for India because I'm seeing when someone is putting that there, Abhishek Sharma is the Sanat Jayasuriya, we found it. You are getting million of likes.
It's always the
See
same.
our guy. That's the image. That's the image.
Yeah, because he created, he literally revolutionized cricket and the way it's been played. Because until 1996 Cricket World Cup, or little before that, having an opener who could hit hard was a luxury. But post 1996 World Cup, it just became mandatory. Even the great Australians need to unearth somebody like Adam Gilchrist and put him on top of the order just because they wanted to hit hard. Because we always know, like, Australia starts everything. We learn from Australia and everything. But there are few things Australia actually learned from Sri Lanka, because Gilchrist himself has told that he wanted to become a big power hitter like Sanat Jayasuriya in his book.
And also he wanted to use the Scotch balls as well to
That's-
imitate certain things.
That's a complete different story because it's a heartbreak. Why do we need to discuss
As
the
Sri
heartbreak
Lankas,
of-
those things are the heartbreakings. But we are talking some technical stuff because we are having those resources in hand, and you to learn these things, and you have to unlearn certain things and learn the correct things. That's why we are here. So we can openly discuss these things because it is some learning for us as well. That's what we thought we should share it with you. So today our topic is going to be power hitting.
Exactly. So we talked about beyond the boundary, and we are talking about power hitting as well. Recently, we saw something happening in Sri Lanka, that Sri Lanka has appointed a batting coach who is a well-known expert in power hitting. But this is coming a little late because Tom Moody, during his tenure as the cricket consultant, during the days of Aravinda De Silva being the technical committee chairman, appointed him, and he said Sri Lanka lacks this in T20 cricket. Better late than never, but somehow they found a cricket power hitting coach.
A power hitting coach who cannot hit Jaker Ali for a six.
We'll speak about Bangladesh separately because whenever you take this topic about Bangladesh, I don't know whether they are serious or they are trolling.
But they are serious.
They are serious. They are very serious.
And also you can get 1 million likes when someone is saying that in Bangladesh.
Exactly. So I don't know about this coach, whether he is capable of making Jacker Ali a hitter, because why we are talking about Bangladesh is just before his appointment to Sri Lanka. He was part of the Bangladesh. He was working with Bangladesh during the Asia Cup as well. And we are talking about Julian Wood. He got appointed as the power hitting coach for Sri Lanka. And the one funny thing is, I don't know whether he would have been failed with one player in Bangladesh, but he converted a way that England team plays, right? So almost he brought 10, 12 hitters to the England cricket team.
No, actually, some certain things, I'm just trolling myself, right? Because England from a side who was losing in a different way, and from number 1 to number 10, you can get a guy who is coming one after another, can hit a 6 without a big effort. Technique, the way of the placement, way of the wind is there. They all know. Not a bowler, not a bowler, not a bowler. Even I remember, even as I told you earlier, Abdul Rashid, even I remember, Rashid was hitting very freely a 6.
Effortlessly.
Very effortless. So, how this guy has done it.
Exactly. So what has happened was just after we have to go back to 2015 World Cup. So England actually had a very bad World Cup, because I always used to laugh with my friends that there are two things common in England: the reign of Queen Elizabeth, and they play a brand of cricket which is lower than everybody else play. So their most humiliating defeat, actually not the Bangladesh quarterfinal, because they fought, but it actually came in Wellington when they got defeated to New Zealand. So they go back to England, and Andrew Strauss is the director of cricket back then. So he calls Owen Morgan, and they had a chat, and he said, like, tell me, Owen, what precisely our team need to do it. So Owen said, it's like this. All these things I read it from a book called Morgan's Men, about like, it's like a internal documentary about how England became the world champions. So he just said, we lack a lot in power hitting. Then they went and approached Julian Wood. He is a known person in terms of power hitting, and he knows a lot of biomechanics about how your hip swings and the back lift you need to take. And he normally make players hit with a baseball bat, right? So that gives them more confidence and all. So going forward, England team became big power hitters in terms of like the World Cup.
Yeah, even if you remember guys like second best test player by today, Joe Root, even how he has changed his way of playing the game.
He's plays more reverse scoops than anyone else. He's part of the Fab Four. So this is what the cricketer is known. So then Julian Wood became...
And also Ben Stokes.
Yeah, Ben Stokes.
He changed his game totally by 2016-17.
Sure. Because he became someone, I would say, like, Julian Wood unleashed the beast in him. And they became very powerful, and they started hitting. Irony, they won the World Cup.
And also he has played some ironical innings which are so remembered, and for some innings of the century even.
Of course. So this is what Julian Wood is all about, and he just really became the most sought after coach after that. And then he was coaching counties as well. He got IPL stints. Now he was with Punjab Kings this year, and they went to final. So these are the things that which we need to talk about. So this guy, he knows what he's doing, and he's really, really capable of transforming team, except Jacker Ali.
Yeah. And also we have to remember that in 2-3 months time, we are getting into the Sri Lanka-India soil to have
a World Cup.
T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
That's the main target for our guys, to have such a guy in backyard.
Exactly. So you need to, even if you see Sri Lanka team historically, even the golden era where Sri Lanka dominated and became number one and went to, I think, World Cup knockouts every game they played. Sri Lanka is the only team which dominated the world without power hitters. But we had the game back then in a little bit different shape. The game has become a different one because it evolves over the years. But I wanted to go back to the time of late 95, 96. Sri Lanka didn't have such even forget about Sri Lanka. The entire world didn't have any knowledge about this power hitting. right?
Actually, Indoosan, I want to recall here. Now, you remember when the cricket golden era just erupted up after 1990s, early 1990s, they want to change the ODI formula.
Yeah.
Right? They wanted to introduce have something because it was something like 200, 225, 250 was a very creamy score because I remember when I was a kid watching a match for 35, 40 overs, just like a test match,
Yes.
you are playing a game, right? Because it's a funny stuff. When first Indians played ODI, Sunil Gavaskar played the inning for 175 balls, he scored 34 runs only.
Yeah, that's a World Cup game, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So that's how the ODI started,
Yes,
right? For
yes,
early
yes.
1990s even, until 42nd, 43rd over, they were playing 3-4 runs per over. And in the final overs, all the magic was coming out.
They started hitting.
Yeah, hitting. That means, very simply, within first 2 wickets, it was said that you are playing until 40th over. And the other resources are not utilized until 40th over. And all of a sudden, people are coming and hitting and going.
Yeah,
Right?
true.
So, in the game, that identified that 10 overs want to take it to the front. Right? That's how the first 15 over rule has come to the game. Right? I remember it was talked in the different medias, and I remember Sports Star, Krida, and those things, magazines which are having, and the sports magazines in TV, it was discussed in a simple ways. Very simple thing. For the game, though the things rules have introduced, no one could crack it.
Exactly. So that's the point. So we have the field restrictions, and everybody thought it's very hard to take singles. So what they did is they started blocking dots and leaving. So in a way that they wanted to preserve the wicket. And then if I have to be very sure about the history, New Zealand did try their level best to do this pinch hitting in 1992 World Cup.
Exactly.
For good or bad reasons, they couldn't success.
Was it Rutherford?
Yeah.
Who opened? Yeah, Rutherford, right?
Yeah. So then it just kind of died out.
And also, Botham, he's also tried it out.
Yeah,
as
so
open.
England tried Ian Botham, and they brought him in front, but they also couldn't crack it. And then these two...
Even Australia tried, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, right, okay.
So everyone was having their own formulas to try it with some different resources. Unfortunate thing was not resources.
Yeah. So
No proper resource one could accommodate.
not only the resources, perhaps the mindset. Because everybody was like very conservative, very traditional, and they might be not encouraged to throw your wicket, because this is like, as you see in many ways, higher the risk is higher the reward. So
Exactly.
it's like, it gives you a lot of reward, but it gives you comes with a lot of risk also.
Exactly.
So Sri Lanka, being a tiny nation, they backed two people, Sanath and Kalu.
But the beauty is, it was a time Sri Lankan cricket was in a hell.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Because by their...
No one knows where we are going.
Yeah, no one knew where we were going, because to be frank, from 1987 to 1992, Sri Lankan cricket was not having any international game here.
True.
Right?
True,
In the very first game, we were having a test match here in Sri Lanka. Australian has come in 1992.
Oh,
So in that very first game, we could identify a little guy who is a wicket keeper who has come into the wicket. And the same game also, great Shane Warne was born in Sri Lanka. Right? He was hitting like everywhere in his first inning, 132. So we knew there is a small man is a big hitter.
Yeah.
He is in Sri Lanka. But by then, even Sanath Jayasuriya was a bowler.
Of course. And he was a low order one, right?
Exactly.
He was like, finisher kind of type.
Exactly.
I mean, like very this thing. And then what Sanath and Kalu did is they had a proper backing of the captain. They need to give him the credit as well, and management and everything. So they went and they literally revolutionized cricket. So they started hitting, and people just really these days. The one funny thing, people just always say, these IPL scorecards like 8 overs, 100, 10 overs, 100. It's like even still date, it's a big deal, right? In T20s. But Sanath has played that in good old days. Like, we had 100 runs in 10 overs. If you see the
I
World Cup.
think not one time,
Yeah,
several times.
many times. I remember that Singapore final, right, where we were playing against Pakistan.
There was a match in Singapore final, one match, Sanath was scoring and still Kalu got out for 0. And by then the score was 70.
70. So
Sanath
like
scored 26 balls, 76 runs.
Exactly.
And
So
the same tournament, Guy scored 126 in something like 60 odd balls.
Exactly. So then that's in the World Cup quarterfinal. Wherever he goes, he makes his mark, right? Those things. So that kind of revolutionized cricket. Everybody wanted them to have one. And then India, in search of that, found Ganguly. And Australia, in search of that, find Gilchrist. Every team, literally, like, New Zealand came up with Nathan Astley. So if you could just see the South African, even the Gary Kirsten and
And
Andrew
before
Hudson.
that, we just have to recollect, in West Indies even, we remember the characters like Vivian Richards were there, but not they used for this tactic.
Exactly. So he was, Vivian Richards is like, Sir Vivian Richards, and he definitely had the,
Power hitting ability, but not for this purpose.
This purpose. So it's just I would say more than because as we talk about Julian Wood, and like when Julian Wood came for a workshop here, and I wrote it on social media as well, because this is the irony that back then an Englishman comes to Sri Lanka, where like Sanath Jayasuriya is the head coach, and teach these kids how to hit powerfully. So how world has changed upside down, right? So though there were time that England team couldn't contain Sanath Jayasuriya in the World Cup quarterfinal. So what I would say in these days, like we are learning it as a science, and we just really like take it as perhaps these good old days. We just say like our Ayurveda did the same thing to the the
Yeah, you remember Sanath flicks.
Yeah, of course, his uppercuts, and
You remember the 6 he hit for I think Ben Holliak in the test match. He was born in air.
Yeah, so airborne cut, so airborne uppercut. And
No,
everything.
those are invented shots in the world.
Of course. And what I wanted to highlight at this moment is it's not only Sanath and Kalu. If you just say like Asanga Gurusinghe can hit, Aravinda De Silva can hit. So this is something Sri Lanka had in their, maybe Arjuna did something, or he planted that in their brain and DNA. So entire top order and middle order can hit. So that is a very strong thing, because this is the very special ability about a team, because in order, if you are to dominate the world, you don't really go back and cry about how less resourced you are. Because if you just take the 1996 Sri Lankan cricket team, if you take India, Australia, England, or even Pakistan, New Zealand, they were all far better than Sri Lanka in terms of resources. The training abilities, the coaches, and the technicalities, and they had the facilities, everything. But Sri Lanka played the game with a brain, and they made sure to use whatever they have. So that's what I always draw parallels about the current New Zealand cricket team. The limited resources, how do they use it? Pretty much like Sri Lankan cricket team back then was. It for me, it was mind blowing. How did they thought? How did they practice? How did they came up with this? And on those rare occasions of failures also, how did the team management and the captain said, no, this is what the way that we want to play? Because we saw that in the modern day, when you try to play aggressive, when you lose a wicket, people say like, okay, this is what he does. He never concentrate on the game, and so much things. But those days, like, this is after something has been proven very well. Like after something is being talked about very well, it's like a theory. You try to go there. It's, for example, like we know that like certain investment schemes would be good. We know that, but you invest it, you don't make it, still people criticize you. But somebody's finding out from that time was like very, very big thing for me. But these are the parts of Sri Lankan cricket which less talked about. Yeah, because we talk about the cricket, the hitting and everything, Sri Lanka revolutionized. But we need to go back and see, like, from where did they got this courage to do?
And also, just I have to recall something respect to my big man Arjuna Ranatunga, right? Before becoming the world example, the Captain Cool, he was a power hitter by himself, because I remember it was said that once just the match winners, who are saying the match winner, who can handle it single hand, a match. If you remember Javed Menda's Chetan Sharma sixer.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I remember.
Like that, Arjuna had his own match-winning innings for Sri Lanka as a power hitter. Oh. He started as a power hitter in his very first appearance for me in 1982 against Australia.
Yeah.
In that match, Sri Lanka had to hit something like, I think, at least 70 or 80 runs within last 7 or 8 overs. But end of the day, Sri Lanka was winning the match, just, I think, having another 1 or 1.5 overs remaining. He was hitting 20 runs against the Australian best bowler as an 18-year-old boy.
Oh my God,
right?
okay.
So this power hitting sixes, working it on as techniques, we saw it from the Sri Lankan, and it know by heart.
Yeah, of course.
So cricket is not new to Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is always having an upper hand. Our guys were testing it, trialing it, and technically developing it. Only thing is, our things are not in the books.
We don't. I mean, it's that's what.
Some are having patents for these things. Now we are having Captain Cools, we are having Master Blasters on the books.
So this is what it is, because
I'm angry for my guys, because why these things, Indoosan?
It happens now because when it's cricket has become very commercialized, and then you just have, like, some many richer boards are there, and they actually wanted to, whatever they want to project it happens. But what I'm really wanted to highlight at this time, let them have the titles, we don't really worry about it, but we have shown the world that despite of all these things, we can beat them. So that is what I wanted to know about it. Maybe the entire we lost. I really agree with Lasith Malinga. We lost a generation of cricketers due to bad policies and different things, which we will discuss as we go about. But we need to understand that this team, our predecessors, have already done it. So when there is a will, there is a way. So if you need to find out, because as you correctly mentioned,
we were in minus. We are not in zero. We were in minus, even just by certain levels. When just to recall, now West Indies in not top 8. By 1990s until 1994, our 50th Test match. After 13 years, only West Indies has given one Test match to Sri Lanka.
Yeah. So can you imagine the level they were and the level they came up, for all these things. So that's what we want to discuss in this series.
So, power hitting is always available. You can come out anytime. So beyond the boundary, you can see the things, you can hear the things, you can be the critical viewer, critical player who is with us. You can comment here in the chat and show us that where we can discuss and what else we need to discuss and where we need to go ahead from here, because this will be yours.
Absolutely. Because just give us your honest thoughts about all these things, and is there anything that which we want to discuss in future, which you want to see that, or you believe that Sri Lanka has done it. So we are going to discuss so many things. Cricket in a holistic manner. Not only limited to the men's cricket, we will be discussing about female cricket.
Exactly. Female cricket is something just we are trying to experience now only with this World Cup only, or either a year before with the Asia Cup. Yeah, but before that, Sri Lankan women cricket, nowhere, even it was knowing only by the Sri Lankan team and the coaches.
Yeah, but before that, the one funny thing is, the highest runs scored by a Sri Lankan was not Sanath Jayasuriya. Even before Nisanka has a double century, Sanath Jayasuriya has a 189, but Chamari had 192. That's again mighty Aussies, right? So
Exactly.
likewise, we have a lot of things which not given proper attention. We wanted to discuss that, maybe creating a space for people to discuss that. And that's what this Beyond Boundaries is all about. Let us break the boundaries as well.
Right. So with that, today we are ending and starting a new chapter for Sri Lankan cricket and world cricket and opening some eyes. Thanks for connecting with us. See you.
See you soon.